Greetings, everyone. It is Arian here once again. Today's topic is the high heart, your heart center. What is it? What does it mean? How can it benefit you? And how can you really access this all times, anywhere you are? This is one of the greatest aspects I've learned or come across in my process is what is the high heart? How does it function? What is its purpose? Well, when people say, live from your heart, speak from your heart, or receive in your heart, you're really, more than your physical heart is your etheric heart, which sits back in the center cavity, your high heart. And you have a central prana tube that goes right through your crown, and it comes down through the center of your entire being, all the way through your base, right through like your butt, and goes down to the earth. And this prana tube, you would connect it up to great central sun and down to the core of Mother Earth. And then this is where you receive source energy into your high heart, into that high heart chakra. And then that high heart actually feeds right in front of it is the sushumna. The sushumna is like a kind of like your spine. It's a curved channel of energy, and this is where your chakras are plugged into. So you receive source energy, prana, chi that comes down in, and you process it through the high heart, and then the high heart delivers it to the energetic centers, which distribute it through the totality of your body, body, mind, and spirit. It goes through all of it, and that's one of the keys to really stepping into your heart center, your high heart. As you learn this process, this technique is you bring in energy, bring it into the high heart, and then radiate it from your high heart, and you'll feel your body be enlivened, and enriched with God, Creator, Source energy. This amazing, amazing, amazing energy. And it's through the high heart. One thing I've learned too is when you're in the high, when you speak from the high heart, it's not clouded, it's not disrupted, because you're actually allowing God, Creator, Source, your guides, your higher selves, your angels, and all of those that wish to support can actually communicate through you or with you. So you're not doing it on your own. You're allowing creation to support you, which is why not. It's nothing saying, it's not like, giving up pride or anything like that. You're saying, I know that in my little mind, my little me, that I am limited and I cannot accomplish that much. It is Source, Creator, that allows it. That's where the knowledge and wisdom comes through, and it can only be received in the high heart. When you bring it from the high heart into your energy centers and up to the mind, then the mind can translate it and interpret it. The mind isn't supposed to generate knowledge or wisdom. It's not designed for that. It's only designed to interpret and process, just like a central processing unit in a computer. Source sends the love, the knowledge, the wisdom into the high heart, and then the high heart sends it out to the body. The high heart sends it out to your body, mind, spirit, into the mind if it needs to be translated, or interpreted, and this is where, the greatest thinkers and, inventors and stuff like that, that's where they've all, got the energy from their high heart, whether they're consciously aware of it or not, and then it filtered in and came in through the mind. It doesn't start in the mind at all. So this is amazing, amazing thing I found about the high heart, and what they've taught me. So, uh, outside of that, when you do decrees, affirmations, prayers, anything like that, or even speaking to your friends, there's a huge, huge difference when you speak from the high heart. You feel it, you feel love, you feel that coming through, and you'll notice the response from everyone around you and from everywhere, even in yourself. Read some decrees, I am divine light, I am divine love, I am perfect in design, I am that I am. If you say that, say it from the mind and then say it from the heart. You'll feel a huge difference. When you say it from the mind, these words are just basically, fading echoes. They're not really received or activated from Source, because they are not connected to Source. So they have no way to do that. So that's why when you speak from the heart, then Source is creating with you and is supporting you. They're not trying to do it for you. You're just getting that love and support. I generate it from above, from all that is or around, and then it comes from my heart and it's delivered to everywhere. And this is how you can really affect yourself and the environments around you. If you look at, they've done a lot of studies at Heart Math Institute, and that's a huge reflection of that. They haven't got into the higher energetic aspects, but they focus on the heart. When you focus on the heart and the heart chakra, which is your lower heart chakra, that's still all going to feed into the high heart. If you're only focused through that heart, just like what they're doing, then you're getting it. You're allowing it to come in through you and come in through the heart. They even have you breathe right in through the heart, which is all of creation as well. That's another way to absorb it in, and that's the key thing, that you bring it into the heart and that it is then delivered through your energetic centers where it needs to be, so you'll see that and you'll feel that. Another thing that's amazing to know is when you move your focus into the high heart, which is in this high chest area, but it's actually inwards, back a couple of ways. It's in the center of your chest, is where you find your equilibrium, your balance, your centeredness, And when you find that there, what you'll see is emotions, reactions, judgments, lower thought forms, and lower actions, desires, greed, things like that, they're not present because you're back into the heart of God and to the heart of all of creation, And when you are there, these things, they don't send these lower vibrations, lower signals and lack and whatnot. They sit at the level of perfection where there's only pure potentiality in the etheric realms of love and light. This is the absolute reality, God's light, you could say. So that's why stepping in the high heart, these things, they dissolve. They cannot sit there. So one thing I've learned, is holding focus, holding that attention and energetic balance right there in the high heart. As I was going through some initiations, I was required to sit with the high heart for, hours at a time so that I could speak a higher truth, that I could really speak and not be clouded back and forth between it. So I would, sometimes I would talk like this at a lower bass, getting it so, I can feel that in my chest now when I, bring a little bass. That's how I know it's coming in, I focus and then it's being distributed, That was one of the ways that I started playing with it. I'm like, profound results. I'm like, I said I was living from the heart before. I said it probably multiple times. I live from the heart. I had no idea. I may have, made the connection with my heart before, my real heart, that heart chakra, and them are very important, you know what I mean? But never with my true heart center, the one divine heart that's in the high heart. That's what connects all of your being. The others, can will lead into there, but if you go right in the high heart, that's everything. So as I did this, all of a sudden I'm getting the most clearest guidance through my guides and angels, which I had not had before. Once I got in the high heart, it's absolute clear, and then I noticed where I was receiving guidance before it was kind of choppy is because I was trying to get it from the mind and not, from up here and through the high heart. So as I did that, that just absolutely increased my spiritual walk and my practices, 1,000+ fold. Just amazing. So as I learned this, like, okay, I'm going through these different feelings and sensations, something comes up. I just puff my chest up. I pull like it's like a little bubble and I lift it up because it wants to fall because we're conditioned to not be focused. So I kind of push it up and I hold it there, right there in that chest area. I'm holding it there, breathing in and out and, kind of keeping my chest, up the whole time. And as I do that, within 30 seconds, a minute, I'm balanced. I'm not even feeling these higher energies, And then the minute you drop right out of your alignment with the heart, that high heart though, you'll feel it set in. You're like, oh man, this is tough. This is challenging. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't love myself, It's because you're in the mind, the ego. That's what it's designed, to be a lower thought form. It doesn't represent the truest nature of creation or of the lighted realms. And that's back in the high heart. So this is amazing. This is, also, to expand on that. Once you learn that, you're learning how to really amplify your intentions, your focus and your desires for soul growth. You're doing it through the heart now. So now it's increased and supported by all of creation through God, through your guides. They can step in, you can hear them, feel them, experience them, and interact and co-create with them at that moment. And that's what the main thing of it is, no more disconnect, connect me back in. So when you're living through the heart center, your presence is felt, within your own being, within your own daily activities, but also everyone else. Like, they'll notice it, they'll feel you, they'll hear it. You know, when you speak from the heart always, people will feel it and they'll be like, ooh. They may not know it, and they may not, but you can giggle inside because you'll see the reactions. You'll know how people respond to pure love, to true love, because it comes from only the high heart. That's that connects to God, Creator, Source, and is also connected down to Mother Earth. So you have the full balance, divine, masculine, feminine, you know, in the unified energy of the Holy Spirit. You know, it's like, bam, you're right in there, feeding through your heart, coming through the mind to be interpreted and delivered to whatever part of the body or your being that needs it for whatever given moment of your walk through this experience. So that's just some of the best things that I've experienced learning about the high heart, you know. As I progressed more, they started teaching me discernment of the high heart. Well, you know, how do you know where there's misqualified energies anywhere? You know, maybe I don't want to let something into my field, you know, because then it disrupts my whole field. And if I don't know it, then I could carry that on and like own it. And it was never even mine. I shouldn't even took it in the first place. You know, so this is very important when there's a lot of people out there following spiritual practices, but not everybody's getting it from source. They're directing it and getting it from the mind or the lower fourth dimension and lower. You know, these like astral realms. You know, this is where the distortions come in. So, how do you know that any person, you know, at any given time, even me right now, I could be carrying that in this video, and I encourage you to fill in your heart space. Does this vibrate to you? Does this, you know, resonate in your heart? And that's you know, one things that we've learned that they've taught in this. You know, like, okay, how can you know discernment? We'll say, how does love feel in my heart? When I think of love, how does it make my high heart feel? How does it make my entire being feel right now? I feel this open expansion. I feel a lot of light, and I feel a lot of joy and a smile that comes over my face when I feel the vibration of love within my high heart. Ah, this feels amazing. Okay. So, knowing that we love love, we love the vibration of love, if we're going to work with anyone energetically or put ourselves in an environment, maybe we want to see if we're a vibrational match to it. You know, if we are seeking love and, you know, a book, a video, an environment, a restaurant or something maybe is not, you know, vibrationally aligned to what you're going through at any now moment, you know, put it in the heart space. Does it vibrate to that of love? Does it resonate to that of love? You know, and if it's that far off, maybe you don't want to go there right now because you may be influenced by the lower energies. You know, it's like, oh, why choose a higher frequency? I choose a different reality. You know, and that's the high heart allows you to tune through that. You know, to say, well, what is this? You know, maybe I don't really want to read this book anymore. Maybe, you know, maybe the person where they got their information and their source of it came from lower thought forms. Maybe that, you know, how would you know that? Well, if it doesn't resonate to the vibration of love, then you know that it's not in its purity, that something has happened to it between the deliverer and it getting here. You know, maybe never came from the fullest delivery, it came from a lower energy, you know, and they're out there, you know. I don't like to touch on it or give energy to that, but they're there and they will bring through, you know, distorted messages and energies, you know. So if you're out there working with energies of anybody, taking activations or doing, you know, physical body work and stuff, you may want to consider this, you know. I want to stay in the vibration of love. I want to work with people who are in the vibration of love, you know, if I'm going to do energy work, because if you're not using discernment, you could take on energies that you don't necessarily need, want, or wish to go through. So that's just discernment, you know, saying, well, you know, maybe somebody's trying to tell you something and you're not sure. Well, maybe I'm not sure if that's good advice or not. What's it feel like in your heart center? That's your truth. Nobody can tell you what truth is outside of them. You can only tell yourself through the heart. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Whatever they shared, does that resonate in my heart space? Is that similar to the vibration of love? Okay, it's not ringing for me. No, I'm just not into that. Thank you for sharing what you have shared with me, but it's not ringing as a truth for me, and that's okay. We'll carry different truths and different resonances, you know. And this is why it's important for you to have discernment for your own path. You know, what is going to offer you the highest and best and the greatest opportunity? That which you're aligned to, you know. Use your heart to discern that. You know, use the heart space to fill it out, you know. And then, also on top of that, maybe there's an environment or a place where you're going, restaurant, a club or something, and you know that there's vibrations there you're not aligned to. Well, another thing, get back into the high heart when you're there, and you just sit in that place of the high heart, and all these lower energies can't really get in because you're maintaining your frequency as well, which is through the high heart, your presence, your love, So it's just another thing to even keep in mind. But if you're going to work with energy with somebody, if somebody's going to do a massage for you, or maybe do a DNA activation, or a palm reading, or a removal, check in your heart space, see if they are bringing through distortions or not. Maybe something happened last week and they never had that, but now they are. It's worth checking into. If you care that much about your energy, well, just use your heart. It's easy. Go around anywhere. That's your truth center. That's what you were given so that you know how to navigate through reality and always find your truth. When people talk about, they don't connect with this reality, this planet, they want to go home. That's where their disconnect is in the heart. Home is where the heart is. So you bring that vibration, that comfort, that knowingness, that security, that joy is in the heart. Get in the heart space, that high heart center, and then it's like, I know this. I remember this. I am this. I am not all this other stuff I've identified with. You showed me the high heart space. Now I know that. Oh, how amazing. How amazing is that? So that's, just some good things to know about this high heart and what it can really do for you. It's a tool. It's an asset. It's the very foundation of your being. There should be not one function in your walk in daily life that should not be done through the high heart. Everything should be processed, interacted, presented, delivered, received through the high heart. Because then it connects to all of your energy centers throughout your entire being. And this into your higher bodies as well that you're connected to. This is how you do it, through that heart. And if you speak to that heart, it's just profound experiences that take place, and you're just like, oh wow, okay. This is what it means to be in the heart, to live from the heart, to have heart. And this is every different, myth, ancient story, of higher consciousness, masters and such. They all have a mention of the heart. You can see some of the Renaissance paintings where they're showing like Mary, Magdalene, and Jesus. They're pointing to this heart, and there's like this red heart with a fire on top of it, and it's right there. That fire's in the chest because it's showing the heart chakra right in the chest, and then the high heart coming up where the fire, the eternal spark, the God spark. You're like, bam, okay. That's what that high heart is. That's the deep recessed cavity in there, and it's amazing when you learn this. And if you're, depending where you're at in your ascension process, and that's what you're working towards, you actually start getting a developed high heart. You get your physical heart will actually be moved up here to the etheric aspect, to the high heart. Oh, wow. And your heart will no longer beat forward and backwards. It goes upwards and downwards. So it follows that central column. So you're staying in your truth. You're staying in God, Creator, Source. And that's why it'll pump like that. And you'll feel it almost pump like into your neck area. And you're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And that's what it's designed. That's why this new part of the ascension is putting that, so it's pumping and keeping you in that heart space. So there's no more separation. There's no more distortions. No more shenanigans coming through. I want truth and I want purity in my life. Please, thank you. Oh, I can do that? I just got to be in my heart. Oh, silly me. Okay, heart space. Let's do it. Maybe you're uncertain about all this. Well, I encourage you to go play, practice, experiment like a little child. See what happens. Work with it for a couple weeks and see what you can do by focus and awareness through the high heart and processing your entire life through the high heart. And then use love as your guide. Love or even God, they both represent that same high vibration, that purity. Feel what God and love feel within your high heart, within your heart space, within the entirety of your being. And if you're going through life and something does not vibrate to that, maybe you don't want that. Maybe that's not really in the highest and best for you. So choose otherwise. Choose otherwise through experience, awareness, and resonance. Well, how do I know what resonates? Well, if it doesn't resonate or even come close to the vibration of love or God, maybe I don't really want to be a part of it anymore. Maybe you've been doing it for many years, but maybe you just don't want to anymore. Why not? You want the highest and best for yourself, right? You want more opportunity. Well, that's it. That's the greatest way I've seen, the greatest way I've been shown and guided. That's it. The high heart center is the truth. That's your one area where no one can take away your divinity. You know, and that's where you reclaim your divinity and always always stay in the vibration of love and potential. So this is the high heart. This is staying in your heart center. Play with it a little bit, ask about it, ask your guides, if you're not familiar. Then if you want to take it up a notch, you can start increasing, not only moving your physical heart up there and expanding the etheric heart and this high heart, but also bringing in the divine heart, which is an even bigger overlay. These are a little bit more part of the accelerated ascension process, but all pertinent. As you move through the ascension, you got to move into the high heart. You can't ascend or evolve unless you're in pure love, in unconditional love and unity, and that only comes in through the high heart. Because once you're connected to the high heart, each high heart in all of creation is connected to itself. So that you never operate separate from that. Unless you choose to separate, choosing this incarnation and these experiences we have. But now we are taking the awareness and we're choosing to do otherwise now. We're choosing to honor our truth and our purest potential, and that is being beings of energy, beings of love and light. That's what we're choosing now. So show me, please, more mechanics, more faculties and processes of how I can stay in that space, and where it becomes effortless. And one thing I've saw and learned also, as you develop more in your spiritual path in the ascension process, they'll actually put Merkavas, which are like an advanced Merkaba, and these are hyper geometrical configurations, tetrahedrons. They'll fit, one will go in your high heart and one will go in your pineal. And this allows a direct connection, so you're always connected there, and that there's no separation, that you bring it in from source, high heart, to there. And then there's different ones that you can connect to as well, especially the solar plexus as well. That's another high energy center. And you can connect that with another Merkava as well. And then you're just increasing your potential where you don't have to work at it or focus to get these connections. It just happens very naturally. It's always full-time connected, and that's what these fields will do. So that's just more of a process, more of an application, more action and participation in the ascension process. But initially, using the high heart and working with it and getting familiar with it will change your life dramatically. The high heart is the epicenter of all creation. And through my own experiences, I can validate that guidance. I'm not going to push that on you, say that's, explore. And that's what I say, experiment. See where it takes you, see what it leads you, and, give it an earnest attempt. You know what I mean? Don't just one day, you're frustrated and, oh, it doesn't work. I don't, no. No, play with it. When you're at the highest ecstatic mood, when you're down low, when you're confused, when you wish to require a little extra support, go through all the different functions and play with it. Experiment. Be the child. And what I did when I first started, I was like, all right, how do I do this? And I found out if I put my hand over my chest, I could feel vibrating, and I feel it starting in my chest and leading up. And I'd say, I now command my high heart to lead and guide all of my words. And then all of a sudden I feel this energy connection come on, and then I feel more pronounced connection coming from source in through me into the high heart, and now I feel it radiating first in the high heart, coming out my throat here. So beautiful. I'm not speaking from the mind and coming down to the throat. I'm speaking from the high heart, which is all of creation, and then it's coming up through the throat, to be expressed. That's what it means when the word of God was first delivered, all of creation. Well, the idea, thought, source from God, where all the wisdom and knowledge is, comes into the high heart and then is expressed through word. And in the beginning there was word, there was the light. That's where it comes and expresses. So it's like, so play with it a little bit, feel in your high heart. If you need to drop a little bass, I've done that too, so I could feel it and know it's there. One thing I did a lot too is, and ohm into your high heart. Oh, wow, that'll really change everything. A lot of times you'll notice if you're ohming, it'll naturally end up there because Om stands for all of creation, or is the, you know, it is the totality of all creation. So when you do it and you kind of, as you start toning it, it puts you in a surrender mode, which places it right in the high heart, because that is where, that is the only bridge to all of creation is through the high heart. So as you do that, play with it a little bit, experiment, direct it from the high heart or receive, if you're receiving guidance or energy activations, a DNA activation, whatever you're doing, I command that this is processed into my high heart, knowing that it'll be delivered into your entirety of your being in the greatest way possible. You've decreed it, you've commanded it as so to come through the high heart, knowing that the high heart carries the intelligence of God, Creator, Source, and it'll be distributed and facilitated in the highest, best way possible for the best configuration, giving you optimal opportunity so you can explore, experience, and expand as a creator does, and wherever you are at whatever time, through the heart. That's the innocence and the purity that the child carries. I just love, come here. Yeah, you're in the heart. Heart knows no judgment, it knows no separation. That true heart center only knows unity, unconditional love, and pure potential. That's it. So that's what, that's some of the greater things of knowing what is the high heart, what can it do, how can I use it, how can I benefit. Well, there's many ways to really get into it, but that's just a good introduction and awareness. That is my desire now, my intention to create the awareness for you, and that you can build on this and really take yourself up, some new notches by knowing how to work through your high heart. So, play with it, have fun with it, enjoy it, express it. That's what it should be. A lot of fun, learning yourself, learning to explore yourself, to know thyself. Know it through the heart, first and foremost, before you do anything. So if you need any assistance, any questions, guidance, support, want to do a session, look me up. I'm on Facebook. I have email. You can connect me right through here on YouTube. Any which way. Facebook, I'm Arian, who Atla-Ra. If you want my email, AURIAN ANTARA at yahoo.com. That is Arian and Tara at yahoo.com. Reach me there. Any of those ways, leave a message on this YouTube. I'm here to assist in any way, answer questions, offer support, tutelage or guidance, whatever, for the ascension process. So reach out. There's many of us exploring this high heart thing. You'll see it, feel it. Look it up online. There's a lot of news on it. There's a lot of information, Googling it. Not saying that's the finite or the totality of what it is, but you get a good feel, It's maybe just not coming through here. Many people have been feeling, experiencing this, and got the guidance. How to move into the heart of all of creation, or the heart of heart of God. The heart of truth, purity, and unconditional love. That's where I'm getting. It's all in the high heart. Everything there. And then I just giggle when I look at, those pictures of Jesus and Mary, and they're just like, they're pointing to it right here, and then we were working one day, and I got to share this. This is, ooh, wow. They're showing moving your finger around until you reach this spot, and then you're like, keep moving it. It's on the side of it because you're kind of, right there. Now I'm feeling a huge energy increase right here. Do this for a minute, 2 minutes. I assure you'll be absolutely amazed and surprised. So this symbolism is of God pointing to his heart, saying, this is where truth is. This is where full support is. This is where all of your potential is. So how can we increase that? Well, I focus on it, and I take my finger as the finger of God here, and now I'm pointing to the high heart. And so you are already commanding for the higher levels of light in the higher celestial realms to now move through you and to send more energy to this high heart space. By this simple gesture, I'm pointing to it. Play with it. Move it around. Each time it'll have a little different way of where it needs to be directed, because each moment's a little different. But get to that high heart. Find that point there. Find that point, And then if you want to increase it more, well, that's a good spot for me. That's why they showed in the pictures when they're pointing up. One. God is one whole being of light, the totality of all creation. So when you put your finger up like this, you're asking God to put his finger to your finger. And then when you do this, on top of it, now you're getting this huge energy flow. And let's just sit here and do this right now for a minute or two. I want you to really experience that, and not forget about it. So let's go ahead and do this. Find that comfortable zone. And then you'll feel a huge vortex start building around you. You'll feel a huge toroidal field building around you. This is why it's in all these different, Renaissance paintings of different saints and gurus and masters. They all got the same guidance. God has showed them. We are all one. Call upon it, and you are supported by it. Can you already feel your vibration changing? Those of you who are energetically sensitive, I know you're feeling that. I know the minute you tune in, you saw it start and just like take off. This is the beauty of it. It's instantaneous. High heart, connecting to God, Creator, Source. You're bringing it in another way, a new tool, a new mechanic, a way to excite more joy and to add more opportunity and potential. This right here, high heart and source. Bam, you're simple. So I just want to bring that to awareness as well, to close up this video, because I could talk all day about the heart. It makes me happy. It keeps me in my heart center. It keeps me in joy. So I encourage you all to play with this. Get into that heart center. Feel what it is. Know your truth. Know your highest joy, your highest excitement, and your highest alignment. So do that. Enjoy it. That is your absolute truth. So thank you so much for allowing me to share this information and to share my own excitement and joy and my perspective and the guidance that came through on this high heart, this heart center. So have fun, enjoy exploring yourself. The greatest part of stepping into higher consciousness is knowing yourself at a greater level. So thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to reconnecting or assisting should that be the case. We're all here to love and support each other in any way that we are available. So thank you again. I love you so much. And until next episode, stay tuned. Many blessings and so much love from the Most High. Thank you, Adonai.